Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. You know, it is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching creatives and crafters how to paint for fun and profit. Welcome to July's painting of the month. Step by step, home is where you park it. Okay, hi. Who's painting with me tonight? Who's hopping on? Who wants to paint? I'm going to get set up here. I have my transfer paper. So if you did not already put your tracer onto your canvas, you can do so. Or if you already have, you can just watch me and wait patiently or go get a beverage or something. So I have my 11 by 14. This is going to be a horizontal one. I am eyeballing my tracer. You may want to measure yours. I don't really, sorry. I'm not much into measuring. I know I should, but sorry. And then I'm going to take my well-worn and used graphite paper that has paid for itself over and over again because that's how inexpensive this stuff is. And I'm going to begin to trace my outline. Okay, I'm going to start over here with the palm tree. So who wishes they were really actually on this beach? You guys know I love to paint, but I would trade painting for being on this beach. That is for sure. Get some coconuts in here. And when I do these trees, and you'll see when we paint them, I'm just going to follow along the outside. I just want the shape. If you already traced yours, that's okay, because when we paint, it covers over the lines. But I just want the arc and the shape and the direction these palm fronds are going in, okay? And then we want to differentiate between the sky and the water and the sand. Now, there's one thing about this beach, and I'll tell you, since my old age, I bring a chair to the beach. My days of only sitting on a towel and my butt turning numb in the sand are over. Oops. So, I'm just going to put that one horizontal mark across the surfboard. If you don't want to do stripes and dots, that's fine. Then just do the outline of your surfboard. So I'm not going to put the stripes in there yet. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. And I'm going to move on to my VW Bug. Now when I trace, I'm sorry to say, it is not perfect. What is, right? So we're going to do the outside of the tire and the inside of the tire. You don't have to do the little lines that are indicative of like what would be the highlights. But I am going to do the circle for the headlights, but I'm not going to do, even in this case, I'm not even going to put in the peace sign. If we want to put in the peace sign when we paint it, we can. I thought maybe somebody might want to put a date on there. So it's totally up to you. It's easy enough to paint in a peace sign with my liner brush if I choose to do a peace sign, but for now I'm just going to leave it. Did I get everything? I think so. I just want to double check that I got everything that I wanted to get. Yep. Okay, and that is it. So I'm going to put this all aside. If you come back and watch on the replay in the group, please let me know, #replay. I would love to know who is enjoying painting with me and taking advantage of painting with me, because you know I love painting with y'all. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have out some of my base colors I keep in these little condiment bottles. And since a good portion of this painting is red and yellow, I'm going to be using, oh, this one, red's almost empty. The colors, these base colors that I keep in these big jars. I buy these in bigger bottles, and then I put them in these squirt bottles for easy access, because the big bottles have these big giant mouths on them, and I would have a big paint mess if I was pouring out of them. So I put them in these, and these are cheap. I don't even think they're like, you know, maybe 50 cents a piece. I don't know. So, okay then. We are going to get started with our yellow. I like to grab my paint from the side of what I would call the puddle. I don't just go diving right in. I pull it out from the side. I like to get a good amount of paint, put a little pressure into my bristles so they fill with paint. And I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to put this little line here. And then one about, I guess just to the top. Just past the top of the, I don't know, I keep calling it a Volkswagen bug. What do you guys want to call it? Okay? And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill in with this yellow for now. Pick up a little bit more paint. And this is a really vibrant yellow. I think I'm going to either mix it with white or use a different yellow for the Volkswagen bug. Okay? And we want to keep these brush strokes going horizontal with the skyline. I can turn my brush and use my brush on the chisel edge, but we still want our strokes to go horizontal. And I'm just outlining this little bit, the roof of the van. Okay. You guys, we have, if you're new to the group, we have gotten quite a library of videos and painting tutorials collected in this group for you. I've been doing this since January of 21. So there is about 18 of these classes with tracers and supply lists and the video in here for you to paint. It has grown rather quickly. I do know, and I don't have it, but Facebook has come out with some new features, gotten rid of some old features, and now groups and Facebook pages look a little bit different. I still have the old one, so I can't help anyone who's has changed. I'm trying to look for maybe, I'm going to do the edges here too to correspond with the front. I'm going to look for somebody who maybe I can borrow their phone if they have the upgraded Facebook or the changed Facebook. I don't know if it's necessarily upgraded or not. And see if I can do a little tutorial on where now to find the information in these groups. Because when Facebook is making all these changes, it makes it hard for the followers to find what they want to find out the information. You get used to going one way, and then they change it, and now you have to go another way. So, okay, we have our yellow done, so I'm going to give my brush a really good rinse. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to move on to our red, and we're going to work on our red from the top down. And again, I'm going to go right over the palm fronds, because when we go back, we're going to paint our palm leaves with a very, very dark green. And so when we do that, we'll still be able to see our lines, and we will be going right over our colors. You guys know red and yellow are some of the most translucent colors of paint there are. I don't know why. It is a chemistry thing, but it has something to do with the, I don't know, the makeup of the dye or whatever. I don't know, because for some reason yellows, oranges, and reds are quite translucent, and you're usually going to need 2 coats. If I were painting something smaller and I was doing flowers or strawberries or something, I would actually base coat my elements in a soft apple. There's a tip for you. If you don't want your red to be so translucent and you don't want to do multiple layers, you can base coat your red, wherever you're going to have the red, with a soft green apple. And again, I want to do the sides. Okay. Now, if you're painting this now or you paint this again, you can do your sky any color you want. Okay. It doesn't have to be this red and orange. Well, this red, and it's going to be orange and yellow. You can do it more pinks, purples, whatever you want. I could paint right over my pine cones, my coconuts. They're not pine cones, but I'm gonna skip them. Okay. Now, here I'm going to pick up a little bit of red on one corner of my brush and a little bit of yellow on the other corner of my brush. And now we want to do some blending. We want to create a little bit of orange in here. And we don't want a really, really harsh line between our red and our yellow. So I'm mixing in a little bit in here to make it a little bit softer. And the best way to blend paint is to have all your paint on your surface and your brush wet. So sometimes it may seem like to some of my painters that I'm rushing, but sometimes we have to work a little quickly so our paint stays wet and we can do the blending that we need to do. Okay? I'm not rushing, I'm not trying to stress anybody out. I'm just trying to be efficient and teach. So that is it. So again, on this side, I've picked up a little yellow on one corner, red on the other corner, and I'm blending it in here. We're gonna have a little bit of orange, and then up in here to where we have all red. Now, if you wanted to, you could use orange, but I always like to keep it simple, and this way one less color to worry about, and we can just blend these in together. Now see, I went into my coconuts a little bit. That's fine, we're not going to worry about that because those are going to be dark brown. So I want to have a little bit more of an orange transition here. So I picked up a little bit more yellow, and I'm going over where the red and the yellow meet. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, and I like the blend to the top. I don't love the blend to the bottom, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more yellow. When you hop on, let me know where you're watching from, and let me know if you're painting or just watching tonight. I'm trying to see, okay, if there are comments. And I'm going to give my brush a really good rinse because we have the red on there. I could change it, but it's okay. It's all good. So I got to tell you guys, my dream trip is to go cross country in an RV. I would love to go cross country in an RV. There are so many cool things I would like to see out west and down south. I've never been to Texas. However, I am going to Texas in September. So that should be fun. But I would like to see, I'm not a gambling person, but I would like to see, what do you call it? Las Vegas. I just want to ride through Las Vegas one night and see the lights and all the architecture. I would love to see the Grand Canyon. I would love to see the Hoover Dam. There's so many places that we hear about and don't get to see. So it is definitely my dream to go cross country and see these things. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I hope so, but you never know. Right? Right. Okay. So there we go. I have my sky all done. Let me fix this part a little bit here because you can see that. I'm going to rinse my brush again. Okay, now I'm going to get out some blue. I have my dark blue, this royal blue, in one of these, excuse me, containers. And then I'm going to pick a lighter blue to blend my water with. Patina, turquoise, or aqua, maybe aqua. Oh wait, what's this? This one came in blue. It's a little more blue than green blue. Oh, it's a little thick. I'll have to fix that. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start my blue. I want to make sure that my yellow is nice and dry. This is a narrower section here, so I'm going to change brushes. I'm not going to use such a wide brush. Let me get this one. Okay. And I'm going to start with the bottom section of my blue, because if we remember anything from elementary school, it's that blue and red, blue and yellow make green. There I was, not even remembering it. So I want to give my yellow a little bit of time to dry a little bit more up there. Let me get this little corner in here. And then I'm going to add my dark blue. It wouldn't be tragic if I did get a little green color going in here, because it is the water and it could be a tropical beach, and tropical beaches are all sorts of colors of greens and blues, right? And again, I want to wrap around. And I'm going to pick up the dark blue. Oh, am I off? Sorry. And the same thing goes for this. So while I'm doing the dark blue, I will pick up some dark blue on one corner and the light blue on the other corner and get them nice and blended. I'm being somewhat careful to keep my line straight for my van, but we don't have to worry about that, because you know, when we go back and we add all the details and the outlining, we can fix all that. Okay, so now we have our sky and our water. So I'm going to start now. I'm going to put out, I have a little bit of this Cafe Latte, which is one of my favorite colors. You would think I would buy some tan paint. Instead, I just keep using my Cafe Latte and lightening it up with, oh, this one doesn't work, with white. Okay, there we go. Give my brush a good rinse and then a good squeeze. Okay. So I'm going to get all white. If you have a tan color and you don't have to mix, that's fine too. It's totally up to you. If that makes it easier for you, go right ahead and do that. I am mixing my white with this cafe latte. And I want a lot of, I guess, texture in my sand. So even though I'm blending to get a tannish color, I don't want to overblend because I want to be able to see the differences in the tans. I want to be able to see some dark, some light areas. And I'm just outlining my blanket and filling in my sand. You guys know I like to outline everything so my eye is drawn to where I need to paint, and it helps me not put color where it's not supposed to be. Does it always work? Is it a foolproof system? No way, but it helps. It certainly helps. So outline right here with my bottom of my palm tree. Okay, and once I get all this done, again, I'm going to wrap the sides. Look how cool the side looks. I might even go back here, even though I have all my side colors and my top color and my bottom color, I might go back and add a little bit of a decoration. We'll see how much time we have at the end. Add a little bit of fun detail to, oh, picked up a little too much dark there, so I'll get some more white. Yep, that's it. Went a little too deep in my dark pile, so I just picked up extra white to counter it a little bit. There we go. And then this, oh, that's the van. Okay, thought I missed something. Just the sand now. Up, just up to the van part here. Okay. And then here I was trying to fill in with my, around my palm trees, and I got a little bit of some vertical lines going, so I just want to paint over that so that all my sand lines are following a horizontal layout of this picture, of this design. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to just pick up a little bit of this darker beige, and I'm going to gently, using it on the flat a little bit, put in some shading underneath the van. We want some shading under the van. We want some shading under our blanket, and I'm using the, like, I'm just using the brush on a 45-degree angle. It's got the dark paint in it, and I'm just wiggling it back and forth. Pick up a little bit more just on the very edge like that, and I'm just in here wiggling it, following the shape of the surfboard, following the shape of the blanket, and just putting in some shading in here. If you're not comfortable with that, you can skip it. And then this one, where I first started, was a little dark, so I'm gonna fix this part back here. Okay, and then go back in with this and do the little bit of shading again. The tires. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we just want to add in a little shade under the van where the sun is not going to hit. So we just want that part to be a little bit darker than the rest of the sand. Okay? Then we even put a little bit back here on this side of the tree too. And that's it. I'm just putting a little bit of paint on the very edge of my brush and then wiggling it back and forth, starting up to our element. In this case it's the palm tree, and I'm doing some wiggling. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna get a smaller brush and I'm going to paint my surfboard. So I'm gonna come over here with some white because I've already I muddied up a little bit of my white. So I'm going to come over here on the clean side. I don't need to put out fresh white just yet. And I'm going to paint. I'm just painting in my surfboard with white because in the sample it's red and white stripes. I might put red stripes, I might not. I might put different red stripes, I might not. I don't know yet. So that's why I'm just going to do the whole thing with white, and I didn't put in the, what do you call it? The stripes. Okay? Okay, and now I'm going to start painting in the white part of the van. And again, this is your art, your way. If you wanted to paint your van purple and green, go right ahead and paint your van purple and green. If when you were growing up, your family had a brown van, or you had a brown van, get and paint your van brown. Whatever you want to do. Okay? Oh, I picked up a little bit of yellow. Don't want that. It's your art. If you want a red van, if you want a yellow van, if you want a blue van, if you want a purple van, whatever color you want. It's totally your choice. I am following the reference photo because I think it makes it easier for you guys when I follow the photo, so you're not like, wait, what did she say? What is she painting? That's not that color, right? And then this way we're all on the same page. But if you're not painting this in the group and you paint it again, or you're painting it by yourself, yeah, feel free to change up the sky, the van, whatever you want. Okay? Alrighty. So now I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow and a little bit of my white, and I'm going to mix it over here. I'm going to just make like a very, very light yellow for the rest of our van. Pick up some more white. If I need to put out some fresh white, I will. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start doing our van. And I could do this whole section at one time, but I like when there's different sections to our design, I like to paint them with different strokes. So I'm going to do one section at a time. You could fill in the whole thing and then go back and separate it with your finishing coats. But it's just as easy, I think, to go in and differentiate right at the beginning when you're painting. Go around my tire. Now I'm painting this a really, really soft yellow. It might be too soft for you. That's up to you. And now I'm using about a 1/4 inch brush to fill all this in. Got a little bit on what's going to be the bumper, but that's okay because that's going to be in gray, so that'll cover up our yellow. Not going to worry about that. Okay. Got a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. And while this is still wet, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this tan now, and I'm going to add it over to what we were working on, where I had my yellow and my white mixture. Maybe pick up a little bit more of this color. And now I'm going to do shading again, just like we did on the tires. I mean under the van and under the van tires. Just going to come in here, and I'm using this scrubbing motion, and I'm adding a little bit of shading to some of the elements in our van. There. We don't want it to be like, I don't know if you can see it a little bit. There you go. Without the glare, you can see it. It's just giving a little bit of more like of a low light to it, and then a little bit on the front, and there we go. Okay, I can turn you guys around for a second so you can see where we are at. Okay, so we pretty much almost base coated in everything. We started with our yellow, then we added our red, and we blended some orange in between. Then we did 2 blues for the water, and then we did a tan and a white for our sand. Our van has white up top and then a bit of a pale yellow for the bottom. Like, I would probably do my van a different color, but like I said, I like to keep it to the reference photo when we're painting, so you guys can stay on track. Okay? So I actually write down steps when we do these, because I don't want to forget a step while we're painting. When I'm painting by myself, if I forget a step, it's fine. We're going to paint the windows now. If I forget a step, it's fine. I can go back and fix it. I want a little bit of white in this. That was a little too dark. I can go back and fix it. And even I can show you guys how to go back and fix it, and that's all well and good. But when we're doing these monthly classes here, it's just as easy for me to stay on course when I write down my steps. And they're very, it's like background red, yellow, and then van, and then windows, and whatever. So this way, I can keep you guys on task, and we don't have to worry about going back. Because if I forget something, I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, now we have to go back and add. So we have to completely, rebase coat this, or we're going to add some shading here. No, this way I have my step-by-steps. You can see them right there. And we can stay on track. And I just mixed a little bit of white with this blue, and I'm filling in the windows. Now our windows will be like a 3-step process, so don't worry if they're not perfect right now and you're like, those don't look like windows. It's okay. It's all okay. And then we're going to move on to this one. These canvases I bought, they have such, I don't know, thick, I don't know what you would call it. The canvas is, well, they're not smooth, but canvas is not smooth, so that's okay. The weave is very thick in them, And sometimes it's hard to get the paint into all the nooks and crannies. I won't buy these again. Actually, I just need to look and see where I got them and then remind myself not to buy them again because they're not good. I mean, I go through canvases so much, you guys, so I'm always looking for good prices, but I have to look up where I got these from because I do not want to get these again. The grooves are just too bumpy and thick. That's why if you see me, I keep, you know, painting over and over and over in certain spots. I pride myself on being a fast painter, you guys. How am I supposed to be a fast painter if I'm painting on these canvases that I can't even get into the nooks and crannies of, right? Okay. I'm gonna get out a little bit of burnt umber, dark brown, real brown, whatever. Okay, and I'm still using my little 1/4 inch brush, and I'm going to work on the palm tree. Okay, so again, I want to put my brush in the dark brown. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pick up just a corner with the beige, and I'm going to start painting in the segments of my palm tree. And again, we could paint the whole thing and then come back in and fix it. But that's not how I roll, right? I got the brown, I'm picking up a little bit of the tan, and we're gonna do each segment separate with the darker to this side. And the tan to the inside. Okay, so I got some dark, I have some light. I'm going to do this part by the surfboard, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do this part for the next segment. Can you guys see? Let me know if you can't see, if I need to move my camera or my design. Okay, and this one's mostly covered in here, so we're just going to go in here with the dark brown. The light part of the tree is presumably behind the surfboard until you get to this spot. Okay. And again, some dark and some light while we work. Oh, put the light on the wrong side. There we go. That was it. Just fixed it. Just picked up some extra dark and fixed it. And then while we have this dark brown, I'm going to come in here and paint in my coconuts. And again, it's weird how you're painting with the same color, but if you paint each of the coconuts separate, they'll actually look separate. Just like I was showing you with the segments of the palm tree. If you paint the segments separate, the segments will stay looking separate, even though it's virtually the same color. Okay? And we're going to add some details and some highlights to them anyway. And we still have to add our branches on, so. Hey, Angie! All right. Okie dokie. So, now I'm going to go back to some blue here, and we're going to do the top of our surfboard. Now you guys probably think I'm jumping around, jumping all over the place. There is definitely a method to my madness. While I am waiting for one section to dry, I'm moving on to another section. So although it might seem scattered to you, I have a plan. I'm doing, I have my steps over there on that scrap paper. And I'm following along my steps, okay? I think I'm gonna get out a liner brush. I do like the idea of having red on my surfboard, but I'm not gonna put deep stripes. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put these thin, wavy stripes. I'm just using my liner brush, following the curve, running out of paint, and there we go. Okay, that is going to be my surfboard. And then we're going to work on the towel. So again, I'm going to a little bit of outline, following in my sand. I'm using this patina blue, the lighter blue that I used for the water. And again, you can do our blanket or a beach towel, whatever it is, in our reference photo. Looks a little tie-dye. And you can have it be tie-dye if you want, or you can put any design on it that you want. It's up to you. You can do polka dots, you can do stripes, whatever you want to do. I just added a little bit of yellow in there. It's going to look a little bit tie-dye. A little something, little glob of paint there. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And I'm going to pull in some of this. I'm going to have to go back. Got a little too much mix going on here. That's okay. It happens, right? So again, I'm going to pick up my yellow and I'm going to come in here and I'm just pulling in some yellow strokes. They're kind of turning a little bit green, which is to be expected. And we're just adding some decoration to our towel. Okay. Oh, here it is, black. Now I'm going to put out a little bit of black. Oh, it's not going to work. It's stuck. Yeah, it's stuck. Let's see. Oh! Imagine that, you guys. So who saw me just squirt paint all over myself? I think I'm going to have to cut this part out. What a mess. All right, see, it happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a hat. The second thing I'm going to do is clean my glasses so I can see again. Then I'm going to look in the camera to see if you can see if there's paint all over my face, which I don't think you can. And then we'll get back to work, okay? So, put out a little bit of black and we will paint. Geez Louise. Good thing I still need to get my shower tonight. I'm a mess. Okay, so we're gonna go in here, we're gonna do our tires. And I'm still using this smaller brush. You could use any size brush you want as long as you feel comfortable with it. If you needed to use a smaller brush, go right ahead. The only thing is with a smaller brush, you tend to get a lot more brush strokes, and we try to avoid that. but I want you to feel successful and I want you to be proud of your painting. So if you feel that at this point in your art game you have more control over a smaller brush, then by all means use a smaller brush or a round or a liner brush or whatever it is. Okay, and I did my tires. Oh, I could have left my brush dirty, because again we're going to take some white, a lot of white actually, and a tiny bit of black, and we're going to make some gray. Okay, and now we're going to do the bumper. We're going to do the headlights. I'm going to do this middle part. What had the peace sign. If you want to put an initial, you want to put VW on there, you want to put a date on there, that is up to you. I have to fix that little bit of white. And then we're going to do inside the tire. And I picked up a little bit of black because my black was still wet. But that's okay, it kind of just made some shading in there. I have a little bit of piece in here that I have to reach. Okay. There we go. Rinse my brush. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit more black. Then I'm going to make this gray a little bit darker than what we had it. And again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add some shading to the bumper. Just the same way, with a scrubbing motion back and forth with just a little bit of paint on the edge of my brush. I'll just add a little bit of shade in there too. There we go. And then I want to fix the white. You guys can't see, but I went off my white a little bit on the front of the fan. That's it. Okay. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to get out my liner brush again. And I'm going to go back into the dark blue and pick up some dark blue. And we're just going to add little wisps across the window. They go on a diagonal. This is creating glare on our glass. That's why I said this is going to be like a 3-step deal. I'm only very lightly using the very tip of my liner brush, and some of my strokes are longer, some are fatter, some are thinner, and I'm just putting these glary lines right on a diagonal across my windows. Now I'm just going to wipe it off, and then I'm going to pick up some white and I'm going to do the same thing. I need more fresh white. I will get to it. And again, I'm going to just barely touch my liner brush on the diagonal to my windows to create this glare. So we painted the bottom of our windows, the base coat, like a little bit of a light blue. Then we added some dark blue streaks. And now I'm going back in here and I'm adding some white. Is this the one that works? No. I have to clean that out. I'm not going to do it now. I don't want to be wearing white paint now since I already am full of black paint. Okay. Alrighty. Let's get out my dark green. I'm running out of room on my palette here. I'll put it there, okay? Now for this step, you can use a big brush, you can use a little brush, you can use a round brush. It is up to you, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do the palm trees. I do palm trees a variety of ways. This is just one way. So I have my dark green here. I'm going to get a good amount on my brush. And the first thing I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to put in the starting line for all of my palm fronds. Okay, I'm just tracing over the lines we originally put in there. So now that is the start of my tree with my palms, okay? So I'm going to pick up some more. And now we're going to build. We're just going to pull out, at a curve. And you can still see some red through, but we're going to be adding on here. You don't want the bottoms. You want the bottoms to be jagged, like they are, and uneven. This one goes up and this way. Again, we don't want our bottoms to be even. We're going to come over here, and this one curves in a little bit more. And we're following, we're kind of overlapping and then cutting off a little bit and going a little bit shorter. So we're overlapping and turning in. Coming up here where it starts, we're overlapping and we're turning in. My brush is getting a little wonky, so I want to fix the chisel edge on my brush, and I do that by applying a little pressure to it with the paint. And that's it. Put it right in there. Okay? And then we have two more. I'm going to do another layer of these and put some highlighting in here too. So if you're doing yours now and you can see the yellow and the red through your palms, that is totally okay. The more I paint this picture, the more I really want to be here at this beach. Look at that, you guys. It is all coming together now. Okay? Now you can use the same brush or you can use your liner brush. I'm going to use my liner brush. I'm going to turn it upside down. And I'm going to come in here at the bottom of my palm tree. And I'm going to start pulling in some clumps of seagrass. This helps set our palm tree to the back. It's just not floating on the sand. It's kind of buried in there. I'll pick up a little bit of yellow to add some highlights to these. And we're just going to add some little clumps of grass. You can add some around the tires too. Maybe a little bit up here at the front. Maybe another one back here. And I'm just wisping on a curve. They all start at basically the same spot. Pick up a little bit of yellow once in a while. And just adding in, oh, I got a little bit of a wonky hair there in my liner brush. Let's fix that. Okay. What do you guys think so far? Coming good, coming good. All right. Now while we have out our liner brush, we're going to start doing some highlighting. So I want to add a little bit of highlight to my lights. I want to add a little bit of highlight to my bumper. I want to add a little bit of highlight to my tires. I'm going to use the back of my brush and I'm going to put some polka dots up here on the top of my surfboard. Random dots, random different size dots. Okay, I'm going to put a couple of little pieces of highlight on my coconuts. I'm going to highlight the side of my palm tree, making little L's there. Oh, excuse me. Okay. And now I'm going to, I think I'm going to do this in black. I'm going to take my black and I'm going to outline certain parts of my painting. I'm not going to outline everything. It's almost like I'll add outline to one side of my elements and it'll almost look like more of a shade. Okay? We don't need to outline the whole bit. If you have a little trouble making a straight line, a long one, just do it like I'm doing it, little wisps. Okay, it doesn't have to be one total straight line. You can come in here and just do some dots. Well, or more along the line of dashes. How's that? And then for our roof line up here a little bit. And then our windows. And these do not have to be perfect. You just want to highlight a little bit, outlining some of our elements so they stand out. Okay, I'm going to add this to one side of the emblem on the front. I can add a little bit to these red lines. Just really makes them pop. There we go. And I did the white on one side. I can come in here and do the black on this side of the palm tree. What do you guys think? Okay. Now I'm going to get my brush out again, my bigger brush that I used, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to put another layer of palm fronds. And we were going to be wrapping it up soon, okay? So, again, I'm going to pick up some green. I'm going to do the outermost. And even though I'm using the same color again, it's going to be shady. You're going to be able to see the differences in the layers. It's not going to just blend and become one dark color. Nope, we have the red and the yellow underneath. And now we're pulling in some more palm fronds. And it gives it some dimension. It gives it some character. It's the same exact color. But of course we're not going exactly over. And so it's doing some shading, some of the colors on the bottom, I'm having some highlighting. And I'm even going to go in, when I'm done with all this second coat of the green, I'm going to go in and add some yellow too. I just want to pick up some yellow here, and I'm going to add a few yellow highlights. Again, the same way, follow the curve and pull down. Again, follow the curve and pull down. And I'm doing this on the chisel edge of my brush. And there we have it. One last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get out my liner brush. I want to fix the other part of this front here. Okay, and then I'm going to put a year on it. And you can do whatever you want. You can put a peace sign in yours. I need a little water for that. You can put an initial. You can put VW. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to put, maybe you guys can guess why I'm putting this number. I'm going to put the number 66. So I'm going to put a dash, 6, 6. Okay, and there we go. Okie dokie. Let me turn it up. And here we go. Here's, oh my God, I do have paint everywhere. Oh my God, how embarrassing. I didn't even notice. If you missed the whole paint explosion, go back and watch the repeat. Don't worry, feel free to laugh. I don't care, I deserve it. Okay, anyway, here, that's better, right? So there we go. Thank you for joining me for this Home is Where You Park It. I'm going to wash my brushes and take a shower now. Thanks, guys. I will see you soon, and we will be painting something cool in August. I'll be posting it probably this weekend, so look for that. Have a great weekend, everyone.